Good morning, one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the digital filters. Earlier in previous sessions we have discussed all the introductory part of the digital signal processor and what is a signal processing and sampling theorem and different types of discrete time sequence, how does the sequence looks like, and everything we have discussed. And today in this class today we are going to discuss about the digital filters. What is a filter? Generally a filter is nothing but a sequence called h of n, which operates on x of n and gives a filtered output y of n. That you can see from the previous slide. Right, earlier in this is the class we have already done with, and in this block diagram here there is an LTI system. What is LTI system? It is a linear time invariant system, and to this linear time invariant system we are giving an input signal, and this is a, for example, this is a filter. In the place of this here if we keep a filter and the response of it is impulse response, or as unit sample response we call it as, or an impulse response. The impulse response get operated with this input signal and we'll be getting the filtered output signal. So that is what happening in any of the digital filters. Let us come to the point. So this is a digital filter where the impulse response get operated with the input sequence x of n and we'll be getting the filtered output y of n. And if we see this equation, what does this equation tells us is nothing but it is a general difference equation for nth order filter. This is for nth order. How can we say, as the limits were not mentioned clearly here, I would like to show you. So here the range of k is from, what is the range of k? It is from k equal to, actually it is from k equal to 1 to n, the upper limit is n, and here k equal to 0 to l, k equal to 0 to L. So these are the limits, and now this is the general difference equation written for any of the nth order filter. And what is this AK and BK? A suffix k and B suffix k are the coefficients of the filter, and this y, you already know that y of n, which is delayed with certain value of k, we call this as an past output. Okay, y of n is an current output, and y of n minus k is the past output, and x of n minus k is the past inputs, or it may depend on the when k is equal to 0 initially, it depends on the present input also. When k is equal to 1, 2 and so on up to l, it depends on the past inputs. So with this equation we come to know that the output depends on previous outputs as well as current as well as previous inputs. That is what we come to know from this equation. This equation is general difference equation for nth order filter. The implementation of this general difference equation is done below. How by looking at this equation, and you can just relate this equation with this diagram. This is what, for example, if you just substitute in the place of k, for example, first we'll look at this part. First we'll be looking at this part like first stage, and later on we'll be looking at the second part, and addition of these two we will be getting as an output, right? That is what we have seen. We can see that from the equation. So this bk, that the k starts from 0 up to l. That is what you can see in this diagram. It started from 0, 1, 2, later on after a few blocks it is n minus 1 and l. So as it ends up with L, number of k starts from 0 and ends with L, and there will be, I mean, if you substitute here, it gets a delay n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, all these are unit delays. Okay, it is just an delay of 1 unit, right? That's why we call it as a unit delay. So input to that in order to get the output, what is the output here you will be getting after this adder? This is the output, b suffix 0, okay, gets multiplied with x of n minus 1, x of n minus 1. That value will be getting as a first term. What is the next term? b1 into x of n, b1 into x of n minus 2. Okay, this is the second term that gets added up again to the first term, as it is summation, right? All these get added together and we'll be getting this second term. From the first part you will be getting this entire second term from k equal to 0 to L. Coming to the second part, it gives you the coefficients of ak starting from 1, right? So that's why it starts from a suffix 1 and ends with n, and it also have a unit delay with respect to the output. So the output will be taken from this, and again it is applied to a unit delay component, delay circuit, and it is been given again to an adder and getting it as output. This is the first term. You will be getting the second term from this, you will be getting the third term from this, fourth term from this, and you will be getting y of n as a final output. That is what you can relate this equation with this diagram. This is what the implementation of this general difference equation of nth order filter. Now you have to choose this coefficients called ak, bk. These a suffix k and b suffix k are the coefficients of the filter. That appropriate selections of the selection of this coefficient should be appropriate to realize the filter. Whatever the filter you wanted to realize, you need to appropriately select the coefficients of the filter. Now coming to the two types of filters. What are the two different types of digital filters? Generally those are finite impulse response and infinite impulse response filters, FIR filter and IIR filter. In that, why it is called as finite impulse response filter? Simply we can say that the definition of it is like the unit sample response of that filter lasts for only finite time dependent on number of coefficients it takes. Okay, number of coefficients what are the coefficient bk? For example, this is the general difference equation for FIR filter. Okay, simply I can say that in the previous slide, the second part, only this part, which k varies from 0 to L, right? This is what the general equation for FIR filter, and b suffix k is the coefficient, and the unit sample response of this filter lasts for only finite time, and it depends on the number of coefficients. Okay, depend on the coefficient which is a filter coefficient. This filter coefficient is a sequence of numbers. Simply it is also a sequence. X of n is also a sequence, y of n is also a sequence. All the digital signals is represented in the form of a sequence of integer values. That's it. And now coming to the frequency response. What is the frequency response of FIR filter? Just you apply the frequency response, you calculate the frequency response. This can be written as, just you know that what is a frequency response. If you wanted to calculate that, y of n by x of n is nothing but a impulse response, right? That you have already learned from the previous video. In the same way, if you wanted to just write it down in terms of impulse response, frequency response, h, which denoted as h of e power j theta, and that is summation again bk and e power minus jk theta. This is all in the power of e power to the e to the power of minus jk theta. And you already know that we can write z is equal to e power j theta. That is the basic definition. What is z transform? If you wanted to apply, just replace this e power j theta with z transform z, then you will be writing the frequency response in the form of a z transform. This is the z domain equation. Now before discussing about the design of this filter, we'll have some points. We'll discuss some benefits, advantages and disadvantages of FIR filter. Nothing but first point you need to keep in your mind is there will be no feedback. There will be no feedback to this FIR filter. No feedback. I'm just writing in a shorter form. While you are watching this video, make a note of it in our notes. All these points are very important. And coming to the second point, there is no feedback. As there is no feedback, we can simply say that it is a stable system. You might be learnt control systems, right, regarding stable, non-stable or unstable systems. We call this is stable. Okay, as there is no feedback, we can simply say it is a stable system. And coming to the other point, it has linear phase and constant group delay. What is the linear phase? What do you mean by linear phase? Just I would like to write here so that you can remember whenever you say this. Linear phase, it is a linear, it has a linear phase, nothing but there will be a magnitude response and phase response, right, that we have discussed in the previous video. For filter frequency response, generally it consists of magnitude response and phase response. What do you mean by linear phase here? The phase response of the filter is linear as a function of time. The phase response of the filter is linear as a function of time, and it has a constant group delay. It consists of a constant group delay. What do you mean by constant group delay? Nothing but of the frequency components of the input signal is shifted in time by same amount. It gets shifted in time by same amount, that we call it as a constant group delay. It has a constant group delay as well as linear phase. This is what related to FIR. And other points which I would like to discuss is it is suitable for the applications that cannot tolerate the phase distortions. There are some systems which cannot tolerate the distortions, phase distortions. To that particular type of systems, the FIR filter, in such cases, this application is, in such applications, this filter is useful. And coming to the disadvantages, like it has the disadvantages like large number of coefficients are required here in realization of this filter. Large number of coefficients are there. So as there are large number of coefficients, obviously the computations are high. The time consumption for computation is also high. If the time is more, the speed is less, obviously. And if larger the number of coefficients, larger the computation time, and limiting the sampling rate as well as the bandwidth. It limits the sampling rate as well as bandwidth. These are the some of the disadvantages, like large number of coefficients. Due to large number of coefficients, less speed, taking more time for computation, less speed, as well as it is consists of a shorter bandwidth. It takes a shorter computation time, and so it takes a larger bandwidth. Shorter bandwidth. And coming to IIR filters, let us before going into that, we have to discuss about this FIR filter design. So what is this design? Nothing but here we have a coefficient called BK, right? From this equation, you can write B suffix K. How can you write? Just inverse of this equation, 1 by 2 pi, and obviously it gets the differentiation summation is converted into integral, and this K value will be from minus infinity to infinity. The value of K will be from minus infinity to infinity. In order to calculate this B suffix K coefficient, as the limit itself says that it gives you a larger and longer values. You will be getting a lengthier values. you will be getting a infinite number of values. There will be a situation where you need to truncate it. There is a situation where you need to truncate it. If you truncate that continuous sequence, obviously there will be a distortion. That distortion we call it as Gibbs phenomenon. That distortion we call it as Gibbs phenomenon. Here I have written that. So this is a Gibbs phenomenon. And how can we control that? Just in order to control this distortion, so-called Gibbs phenomenon in this FIR filter, we'll be going on with special truncating windowing techniques. We'll be applying some special truncating windowing techniques in order to avoid this Gibbs phenomena. What is the impact of this Gibbs phenomena? Because of this, there will be a ripples formed in the passband of frequency response of this FIR filter. You might be knowing it. What is passband? The band at which the signals will be allowed, and there is a stop band, transition width, passband limit. There will be an specifications. These are the filter specifications. We call it as passband, stop band. So the in passband of the filter there will be a ripples because of this Gibbs phenomena. This is what the major points or major advantages, disadvantages, major design oriented points for the FIR filter. Now coming to IIR filter. What is IIR filter? The abbreviation of it is infinite impulse response. There it is finite impulse response. Here it is infinite impulse response. The name itself says that the impulse response will not last for finite time. Here it will not last for finite time. It will stay for infinite time. And coming to the transfer function, how we are going to write the transfer function of FIR filter? Just with respect to this formula. Just keep this in your mind. This is the general difference equation, right? This is the general difference equation. From this you are writing a transfer function. What is a transfer function? Apply z transform to the output as well as input. Y of z by h, x of z is nothing but h of z. That is nothing but a transfer function. If you apply that here to this expression, you will be getting this. Y of z by x of z is nothing but h of z. This is the general equation. General transfer function. So this is the numerator part, b0 plus b1 z inverse plus b2 z power minus 2 plus so on. It lasts from 0 to L. Here it is from 1 to n. So 1 minus a1 z inverse. This is divided by 1 minus. This is numerator and this is denominator. Here, in order to design this, there were two approaches mainly: analog filter design technique and direct IIR filter design technique. Before going into these two approaches, let us have a discussion of some points like what we have discussed in FIR and IIR. Let us compare. In the first point which we discussed in FIR is it has no feedback. Coming to IIR filter, it has a feedback in the system. While we are designing the system, it consists of a feedback in it. Obviously, if there is a feedback, the stability is less, and the stability depends on the number of coefficients, obviously. And as we have discussed in FIR, it is a linear phase and constant group delay. Here it is non-linear phase and it does not provide any constant group delay. Coming to the advantages, what is the disadvantage in FIR filter? It has larger number of coefficients. Here there are smaller number of coefficients. Because of that, the computation time is less. Smaller number of coefficients. Because of that, the computation time is less. Smaller number of coefficients. Computation time is less, speed is more. Because of that, there will be no limitation in the bandwidth and sampling rate also. So that's why we with the name itself, it is an infinite impulse response. Coming to these two approaches, generally in analog filter design technique, in the name itself you can say that it is analog, nothing but it depends on certain analog filters like Chebyshev filter, Butterworth filter, elliptical filter, and it has to design with respect to some specifications, filter specifications. It has to satisfy some filter specifications such as pass band, ripple, stop band, attenuation, transition width, nothing but the width of the stop band minus width of pass band. So those things need to be satisfied, and in such a way we are going to design it. And what is the general analog filter design technique? Nothing but first we need to, a digital filter design is done as with respect to the input. I mean, from we'll be getting that from the analog filter design. Nothing but first we'll design the filter. First we'll design an analog filter, and it has to satisfy the filter specifications, and that initially designed analog filter is converted into digital filter by applying some transformations to it. That is what is been done in this analog filter design technique. Okay, coming to direct IAR filter design. What is a direct IAR filter design? It just follows least square fit. It just follows least square fit procedure to get a desired frequency response. This is what the general design specifications of IAR filter, and we have discussed it is there is a feedback to it. Obviously the stability decreases. It is a non-linear phase is nothing but it is the phase response of the filter. The phase response of the filter is non-linear as a function of time. It does not have any group constant group delay. Does not have any constant group delay. Nothing but the components of the signal, the frequency components of the signal will not repeat, will not get delayed for the frequency components of input signal shifted in time by same amount, right? It cannot be shifted with the same amount of time. It will be shifted with a different timings. So that is what is been that is what the important aspects of all IAR digital filters. In the next session we are going to continue with this. In the next session we are going to discuss about the number formats. Why there is a need of learning about formats with respect to number? Because as I said, digital signal is represented from starting input, in the middle of the stages of the processing, and at the output. All will be written in the form of sequences. The sequence is nothing but a group of numbers. Simply it is a group of numbers. All the signals are represented in the form of numbers in a digital signal especially. That's why we have to discuss about this numbering formats which are followed in this digital signal processors, and what is the benefits and disadvantages of each and every particular number format we are going to discuss in it. These are the 4 number formats we are discussing in the next coming session. One is fixed point format, double precision fixed point format, floating point format, block floating point format. These are the 4 different types of number formats we are going to discuss in the next session. By this we will be ending the session for today. And if there is any thing which you wanted to discuss, you just put a message or a comment simply, so that you can come up with this. If there is any questions or things you wanted to know, you can just get it clarified. By this we come to an end.